the last book that I read, Liam,
Yeah.
which I'll do. I don't want to do whatever. It's called Mindplayers. It's by Pat Cadigan.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Technically sci-fi, but not really.
Okay. Why not really?
Because it's more. Because I don't know. It doesn't feel. It's set in the future.
Yeah.
There's technology that we don't have, right?
Yeah.
But it's not set in space. It's not set with like weird aliens, and it's not dealing with a lot of the subjects that sci-fi usually would deal with.
Okay.
So basically, it's about this girl who, in the future, our minds are totally like understood by science, right?
Yeah.
You can on the street you can buy effectively insanity.
Okay.
It's illegal. You're not legally allowed to be insane, but everyone in the future is just so bored with our lives that the way we feel, like the way we get, exciting things to happen is people illegally buy drugs that make them paranoid and literally give them paranoia for like an hour.
Yeah.
So this girl takes this drug that gives her psychosis for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
From this dodgy drug dealer sort of guy.
Okay.
The police discover that she's done that and arrest her, and they find out it basically the one she takes is broken and makes her psychotic for after she's taken the thing out that makes her psychotic.
Yeah.
So they basically take her to this mind cleaner that cleans out your mind and gets rid of all the bad shit.
Okay. Is that a bit like Eternal Sunshine?
Sort of. They don't make her forget anything though. They just take out this because the psychotic stuff isn't there. It got put in.
Right. Okay.
So they take out the stuff that shouldn't be there effectively.
Yeah.
But that's someone's job in the future. There's like a literal job where you go into someone's mind and help them get rid of this shit. Okay.
So when you do that, do you
literally go
see
into their
what
mind.
they're seeing, sort of thing?
No, you go into this weird. You go into their mind, and everyone visualizes these worlds in their mind that they live in. It's a bit like if you've ever played the video game Psychonauts.
Nope.
Nope. Fair enough. Okay, pretty big game. A lot of people played it. Anyway, but basically they say to her, you're either going to go to jail,
Yeah.
or you can go to school, learn how to go into people's minds and do these things, and make a career out of that because it's your first offence, and we don't want to arrest you.
Okay.
So this whole book becomes about her learning how to go into other people's minds, and she ends up becoming a pathos finder, and her job is to help you. Basically, if like an actor gets fed up of acting,
Yeah.
her job is to help them get over that
Right. Okay.
and like find out why they wanted to do something and help them relearn to love it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this book is such a mindfuck.
It sounds like, from the description, and I could be way off, it sounds like a YA sort of book.
No,
No?
very much not.
So, okay, because from the description, it definitely sounds like it could fit into that category.
I mean, that's literally that description is just the beginning of the book. This book goes out through her entire life.
Okay, does it get like darker or anything then? Like, what makes it more adult?
Well, if you're in there's these people
Yeah.
who they get so fucked up from doing all these mind things. It's possible to like just totally lose yourself or to get your mind stolen.
Okay.
So one of the sort of drug event like type things that people are doing that isn't illegal is they wear other people's personalities. So someone who needs money will sell their personality, get copies of it made.
Yeah.
People put that over their own personality.
Yeah.
So that they act like that person.
Yeah.
Like that's how, and people do that, and I can't remember what they call them. They call them something. But like to do that, you can either get people that sell their personalities, or some people rip it out and like steal your whole mind effectively. So you're just a blank slate.
Yeah.
And you get a couple of characters in this book who are just blank slates who have had enough time for a new personality to grow in their mind.
Okay.
And they're just these really fucked up people because like it's horrifying. Like when she talks to these people and goes in their minds and sees what's happening, they're just the most broken, like sad people because they're like, I have this adult body. People know who I am because they've seen me before.
Yeah.
And I'm not him. I'm not this body.
It sounds a bit like I guess like people that suffer from like Alzheimer's and stuff.
Sort of, but instead of forgetting and just like losing it, these people are new people.
Right. Okay.
Because it's not that they've forgotten their past, it's that literally they've started from scratch again.
Yeah, so they just don't understand like why people can't. Well, they understand why people recognise them and that, but they
Yeah,
just
because
don't.
they get taught again. It's just that they're like, I know that I was someone else.
Yeah.
Or this body was owned by someone else, but I'm not him. And how do I live in this world where there was someone else here before me, sort of thing? It's like, it gets really deep into all these like psychological, like, what makes you you.
Yeah.
what does being you mean? There's this whole thing with twins trying to synchronize their minds, so they're not like they already look like each other.
Yeah.
So this one group of people are like, well, what happens if we think exactly the same?
Yeah.
So it like deals with a lot of like psychological, like what would this mean for everyone?
Okay.
And following it through this character's perspective is interesting because while she's helping do this sort of work, she didn't want to be it when she was younger, and she's sort of a bit of an outsider to it.
Yeah.
Like she's not addicted to any of the mind stuff apart from the taking drugs to make herself insane.
Hmm.
But like
And that's only
genuinely,
like temporary insanity, is it?
yeah, exactly. That's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But like it's fascinating. Like this take on the future and the idea of what people could do. With
Yeah.
these
Is
sort of
this
things.
like a standalone book or part of a series?
I think it's standalone. I couldn't find any. Pat Cadigan has done a bunch of other sort of cyberpunky sci-fi books. And I've read one of them, which was quite good.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was genuinely a really good read. Like, made me think a lot.
Fair enough. That's good. Out of 5?
I think this one's a 4, but a legit
Not
4.
bad.
Like, not for my usual
Yeah.
reasons of there was magic and aliens.
So what's the only thing that like dragged it down a little bit for you?
A couple of times it got a little bit too complicated with the like metaphors in people's minds and stuff and what it was trying to say.
Okay.
So that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What are the 2 books you want me to read, Liam?
I thought of a third, but I've got 3 now. So
Go on.
the first one is a suggestion from friend of the show, Kat Fyson. She wants you to read Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King.
Yep. So I looked this up before, and it came out quite recently. Well,
Yeah, it's
3
a
years
part
ago,
of a trilogy that I think has recently come out. She's only read the first one. I think she wants to read the second and third.
The issue with this, Liam, is if I can't read this first because I will have to read the trilogy.
Yeah, that's fine. So maybe do this one last. Because
Yeah.
the other 2 that I want to recommend, I think, are just standalone.
Okay.
But yeah, so apparently, according to Kat, there's something that happens towards the beginning of Mr. Mercedes that she didn't want to tell me because they're turning it into a TV show as well.
Oh, okay.
But she said it was handled really well, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, she wants you to read that.
Interesting.
I have 2 recommendations for you. One, I don't know if you've read before, actually. So have you ever read American Psycho?
No.
Bret Easton Ellis, I believe it's by.
Is it what the film's based on?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't read it.
Have you seen the film?
No.
Okay, so I remember I read this way back when I was at college, and then immediately after I watched the film, and the film to me, like I literally finished this book, and the same day I think the film was being shown on like Channel 4 or something that night,
Oh, okay.
and the film just didn't compare. Now,
Yeah, I mean,
this was like a fair few years ago, so I want to rewatch the film to see if maybe it was just like the love of the book was clouding my judgment.
yeah.
So yeah, you wanted a horror. I've gone to the classics. I think you'd find this in a lot of like best horror book sort of list.
Okay.
The next one I think is more up your street, and that I think it's like a horror with maybe a dash of fantasy, perhaps.
Okay.
It's called Nocturnal, and it's by Scott Sigler.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
It's possible. He's done other books,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you've maybe read one of his others or something, or you're aware of him. I'm just seeing if there's anything on Wikipedia like what his like most popular book was. Doesn't really say, to be honest. He's done like trilogies. He's done like a Galactic Football League series, an Infected trilogy.
I haven't read that, but I've heard about the yeah.
Yeah, so you're aware of him then.
I've had that recommended to me before, the fantasy, the football space league one.
Yeah. So yeah, this is called Nocturnal.
Okay.
That's probably the most recent book I've read. One of the most recent books. Probably read that in the last like 5 years or so.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the recommendations for you. Now, maybe don't do them all for next time,
Well,
but if you want to, go for it.
seeing as you've recommended me 3, Liam, can I recommend you one book?
You can, but I don't know when I'll get around to it.
Okay, read The Stand.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, there we go then.